Well, I wasn't ready to record yet, but since my finger slipped on the thing, I was trying to get this tripod ready, so I accidentally hit record. So, I'm out here in the workshop doing a little project with my Harmony black and white electric guitar here. Let me get this camera situated, which is what I was trying to do, so I didn't waste much time trying to do that. Anyways, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shim my electric guitar. So I've been kind of messing around with different size gauges. I made this shim and tried it and put a couple strings on it, and it set up too high. The saddle was almost off the bridge posts, so I went ahead and deleted on this guy. So you can turn that light on. Can I get the light on? Light. Okay, so my light ain't working. Oh, that's perfect. Anyway, so this gauge is too big, so I got another one I'm working on now. I just got done putting the holes in it, so he's kind of a rough template. These are kind of like plastic decorative veneer kind of things, like an insert that you put in some sort of decoration you're making. Well, anyway, it's so I'm using these as plastic. Most common things people use when they go to shim guitars and the guitar necks. And why am I shimming it? Matt, why are you going through the trouble of doing it? Well, it's because of the string action. On this Harmony here, it's ridiculous. The neck kind of sinks down too low into the guitar. So if this is my string height, the saddle is all the way as down as it would go. The strings will still come up high above the fret board. I already adjusted the truss rod and all that stuff, and that's not what it is. So I'm shimming the neck, try to raise the back end of that neck up a little bit to help me kind of adjust the string action on this thing, because I like a low action. Now, when you're doing these, the most common thing I see people doing when they're shimming is they use a matchbox, which is just cardboard and stuff like that, and they only go, if I hand down here for you, and when they do it, the most common thing I see them do is they go right in here between the back bolts to the body, and they just cram the cardboard in here, or a lollipop stick or whatever in that little groove right here. What ends up happening is you end up with an air gap between the wood, the neck, and the body. It kind of puts pressure on the back of this neck. Like if you were to take this, let's come up with a good example here. If this was your neck, if this neck plate is your neck, and you put a shim, alright? So now you're going to take your shim here, alright, and you run your neck right along top of that piece. Look what's happening. That neck's sitting up. Now that's exaggeration. That's by big time exaggeration. It's not going to be that high, but it's kind of a good example. Your neck's sitting up too high above the body. When you start to screw it in, look what happens to the form of that neck. Kind of puts a little bit of pressure on it. Starts warping it, and you end up with a hump, kind of like a ski slope, pretty much, on the back of your neck. And so you don't want to do that. You don't want to put no kind of unnecessary pressure on your neck. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and adjust for that. I'm going to get this concaved to where it's kind of like paper thin on one side, but it picks up on the other. I want it to kind of be flush with the wood in here. And that way, when it tapers, there'll be very little, it might be a little slight air gap, but a really little air gap that it's not going to put any uneven pressure on the back of that neck. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and come back to you. Alright, let's give it a shot. Let's put it in the guitar. It's kind of can't really tell it on camera, but it's kind of worked out a little bit. I want to see if it's even though. I got a nice little taper to it. Let's sink it down in the body of this guitar down here and see if that is enough. Get y'all centered in there. And I'm going to try not to move this guitar body around. That way I got to get you where you need to be. Still look like they line up. Well, I think that might have done it right there, y'all. Let me get in the camera shot now. I think that might have done it. Zoom y'all out. Let's put this guitar neck on here and let's see what we got. The ass gauge I put in here raised the guitar neck up too high off the back end. So let me go ahead and focus y'all in and go ahead, and the fan's probably blowing up against it. I got the thing up on 3, the highest it'll go. It's hot today. I'm out here piddling around. Let's see what we got here. Main concern is that, oh, that's beautiful, guys. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm going to get this guitar neck on here and show y'all. There's a definite difference in the height of it. That would be ultimate right there, I think. It's primo. I think that's the gauge I'm going to go with. So let's snap this thing back together. Actually, I think I'm going to kind of do it like a before. Let y'all kind of see what it looks like before I shim it. That way you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. Come around real quick. And I pan y'all down a little bit, make it easier for me to hold this stuff. Kind of pan y'all down. I don't want to drop nothing. This is, if it's sitting in the neck slot, kind of look at how low that neck's sitting. See that? Sitting straight across. And let me put the shim in it. How it's going to go here. Sorry, I'm not editing very good here. So y'all see me do all this kind of stuff, but that's alright. We kind of lay that neck in there real good and get a good hold on it. And now, once it's in there, now look at it. You can kind of see, tilt it up a little bit. Now the neck's kind of raised up in the back and got a nice little slope to it. And that should help me out with my action with the strings. Sorry y'all, but I had to take the neck off twice because I pulled the first daggone shim I made back in there. But there's a new shim in there. I already got the saddle reattached to it, put back on there. And it looks like there'll be a slight difference, so I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and slap some strings on it and see if it's enough. Alright, so putting the strings on, there is a great difference. I'm able to raise this saddle up a lot. It was completely down the body, and so I'm actually able to bring that up now. Can't really, out here is probably about the sweet spot. It's usually like right here on. It hits any lower than that, kind of starts getting into the frets up here. But I think that's going to be perfect. That's enough for me to live with. Nice playability, easy to play is what I look for. But you got to be comfortable while you play. I mean, I don't want to work hard trying to, match the chords down and everything. I like ease of play and just crank and go. That's my thing. So, listen, if you got a guitar and you are planning to shim it, take your time with it. You see here, there is a slight, I did change my action a little bit. But that's about as low as I want to go with it right there. If I can bring that closer in. It's probably about as low as I really want to go with it right there. And these are light gauge strings, and I was able to raise the bridge up on this. But this is where I can live with it and deal with it right here. So I'm happy with that. So if you're going to shim it, keep in mind See how there, you just a slight gap. I mean, just a hair gap. And it's not enough it's going to hurt it. It's fine. But thank you so much for clicking on. And if you found this video helpful, just give it a like. Just another project to this guitar, done and out of the way. I've been meaning to do this for the past 4 or 5 months, since I got it in my hands to do this. So be sure to take your time with it. And they also sell shims too, if you don't want to go through the heartache of making your own, because it does take a lot of sanding. It takes a lot of time to get that right. And so it's not for somebody who don't have a lot of patience. So you gotta have a lot of patience doing it. So if you're the kind that likes to, gotta have it done now and can't wait and get too excited or whatever, buy them offline. StewMac makes them through online, through Amazon, just about everywhere. Or even go to your local guitar shop, have the pro hook it up for you, shim it, and just tell them what you like. Alright, until next time, goodbye, keep playing, guys.